What if you could build amazing habits that stick? That ability will certainly make life easier. This video is a collab with Marco from Straight Mind. He's a psychologist and YouTuber who helps people motivate themselves and build sustainable habits. This video will go over how to form habits that last, and we are starting right now.
Are your habits all over the place and you're not doing the things that you know you're supposed to do? You want to do them, but you don't do them as frequent as you would like to. Well, there are actually some very practical and even scientific tips that you can use to build a habit, and I learned about this in my Master of Psychology, and there are tons of tips, and I really want to boil it down here to 4 very, very powerful tips that you can use now, today, starting tomorrow, and actually build a habit healthily and sustainably on the long run. And you got to be a little bit strategic about that. And we just start with the very first one, which is called piggybacking. I really love this one. It just means that if you want to build a habit, you want to add it to an already established one. Now, what does it mean? First of all, you might say, hey, I didn't build any habits so far. Well, you did. You wake up in the morning, you have lunch, you come home from work, all those kind of things. There are tons of habits that you have already built throughout the day subconsciously. Now, and for example, you want to go to the gym. You want to add this now to this already established habit. Let's say after I wake up, I go to the gym. Maybe you don't want to do this. Okay, after I come home from work, or directly after work, I drive to the gym and then I go home. But by adding it towards an already established one, it makes it much more likely that you actually do things, because a habit is by definition something that needs a trigger. And if you just say, hey, I just go to the gym 3 times a week, at some point, it's probably not gonna work, right? First one. Second one is so-called preparatory habits. The concept or the idea here is just that any habit that you're doing, let's say meditating, let's take another one here. Meditating always consists out of some little preparatory habits and sub-habits that need to get done to ensure that you're actually meditating. Maybe you want to meditate after waking up, using the piggybacking strategy here. Well, you need to make some space so you can meditate. You need to set a timer. You need to actually wake up on point and make this time that you're actually able to meditate. So by preparing something already and having those preparatory habits established, it makes it much more likely that you actually meditate in the morning. Imagine you wake up and everything is already prepared. Maybe you even take a shower first and your clothes are already lying there, and then there's already your little meditation seat in the middle of your room. It's already prepared. So you just gotta sit down and start. It makes it much more likely. Instead, you might forget about it. You first of all need to prepare it. It's less likely that you're doing it, right? So you can connect this with the first one, right? You say, okay, after I wake up, I take a shower and then I meditate, piggybacking. And in the evening before, you prepared already the things and you have those preparatory habits already installed by really preparing the most important things. Also makes it much more likely. Third point, and this is only important for you if you have negative habits installed in your life. Let's make another example, let's say smoking. And what you have to understand is that every negative habit usually has a reason. So just using your willpower and pushing the cigarettes away and not smoking is usually not working on the long run. After 6, 7, 8 months, people either start smoking again or they do another similar bad habit. Maybe it's something also oral, and then they overeat or eat a lot of unhealthy stuff. And that's just because this unhealthy habit often just has a reason. For example, here it would be maybe that you're super stressed and your coping mechanism is smoking. That's how you deal with stress. Okay, now you push this habit away, but you still have the stress in your life. You can't deal with that. That's unhealthy, right? You need some way to release that, and then your mind subconsciously just finds another way. So if you want to push away a negative habit, try to substitute it and ask yourself, why do I smoke? Yeah, actually, maybe it's really because I'm stressed a lot. So let's install a healthy habit that helps me to deal with stress. Instead of smoking, I now go to yoga, or I do sports more regularly, right? So you're basically hitting 2 birds with 1 stone here, but you really want to make sure that you substitute it and it serves the greater and the same purpose. So sit down and think, why do you have those bad habits and how can you substitute them, it's really much more likely that you actually in 1, 2, 3 years are still doing that, and that's what you want, right? The sustainable results. Only then actually habits really make sense on the long run. So we had piggybacking, we had preparatory habits, we had the insight of substituting your negative habits with something positive that serves the same purpose. And fourthly, it's about accountability. Don't just make yourself accountable and say, okay, I'm going to the gym tomorrow and I'll make sure that I will do this. You can do this, but it's very likely, or much more likely, that you disappoint yourself. It's easy to disappoint yourself and say, yeah, I just go tomorrow to the gym. But it's so hard to disappoint others. So how do you create external accountability? You can easily do this just by talking with some of your best friends and just drop in a sentence in between the insight of like, hey, I'm going to the gym right now 3 times a week. Just say it in between. It gives yourself some accountability, because next time when you don't want to go to the gym, you're like, hey, I already told my friends. There's a little bit of pressure in there, but though you want that, right? So create accountability outside of yourself. You could also do this by just having a partner and say, hey, let's go together to the gym 3 times a week now. It's hard to call them and say, hey, I'm not coming today because I just don't feel like. It's easy to tell it yourself and be like, just do it tomorrow. But talking with others about that, it makes it much more tricky, right? And generally you can say that people don't change because they want to change, but they change because they expect themselves to change. And by telling your friends about this, by having a partner and really putting all this strategy into that, you expect yourself much more to actually do this. It's not only this wanting factor, but also this expectation. And this is really a key aspect that also psychology and science showed that this expectation is key. And you can build this really by this accountability, right? Did you understand it so far? If you have any questions, really write some comments below. I answer all of them, right? And by the way, if you have any struggles with really installing them, or do you want some one-on-one help or coaching, I am a coach. So we can even set up a free call. We can set up a strategy and then decide whether we would like to work together or not. But I really want to support you here. Also, really, if you have questions, write them below. Also, check out my YouTube channel. And I really hope that you can use 1, 2, 3, maybe even all of the tricks here that I shared with you. It's piggybacking, preparatory habits, substitute your habit, and accountability. And I wish you good luck and success and fun while building all those powerful habits.